For all my Dubs homies, Warriors preseason basketball is here as they tip off the slate tonight as we record this on Monday. So if you're excited to see Golden State back on the floor, it's simple. Hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. Happy Monday. Welcome into Golden State Warriors Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Chase Sr. Coming up on today's show, we're going to take a look at all 20 players who are on the Warriors roster for training camp as well as the preseason, from the stars to some of the key bench contributors to some of the fringe players who are going to be fighting for a roster spot throughout preseason and training camp. So let's do a little roster breakdown here. The Warriors right now currently have a 20-man roster going into the first game of the preseason. They have 13 guaranteed contracts for the 2021-2022 season, and NBA rosters for all teams across the association are limited to 15 players during the season, which simply means, if you do the easy math, the Warriors and Bob Myers, Steve Kerr, Joe Lacob are going to have to trim 5 players from this roster. Let's start off with looking at the Warriors starting lineup when everybody is healthy, including Klay Thompson back on the floor coming off the torn ACL and torn Achilles, as well as James Wiseman. They're not going to be ready to start the season with Golden State, and we'll get into their injury updates coming up here in just a second. But when they are on the floor and healthy, this is looking like a pretty solid starting 5, folks. You have Steph Curry coming off an MVP caliber season last year in which he lit the league on fire offensively after that All-Star break. Klay Thompson can play a little 2, play a little 3. Andrew Wiggins is going to be available for every game this upcoming season because he has gotten vaccinated, proof that bullying does in fact work. Draymond Green has positional flexibility as well. He can play the 4, he can play the 5, but let's slate him in at the power forward spot because he's so dangerous as a passer and creator from the high post as well as the low post. And then James Wiseman, going into his second season after being the number 2 pick in the 2020 NBA draft, coming off that torn meniscus, can play a little 5 for Golden State. I like the configuration of this starting 5 when everybody is healthy, but of course, Klay Thompson, James Wiseman, their health status going into this year up in the air. Let's first get to Klay Thompson. He did miss the last 2 years, as we know, with the torn ACL that he suffered in the 2019 NBA Finals. Then he suffers a torn Achilles on the night of the NBA draft last year, moments before the Warriors went ahead and selected James Wiseman. The Warriors are targeting about a December or January return for Klay, but he is partaking in drills throughout training camp, just no 5-on-5 yet and no contact drills. As for James Wiseman, he's probably going to be available before Klay Thompson. Rookie season cut short last year because of that torn meniscus. He's been doing light drills during training camp, but when I say light, really, really light, just doing layups around the rim, working with some of the front court coaches that Golden State has employed, and he is expected to begin full jumping in mid-October. So maybe he's available in November. If they're conservative, maybe he's available in December as well. Warriors Today, it's one of the fastest growing channels that we have here at Chat Sports, and our company continues to blossom. Our main Chat Sports YouTube channel is approaching 270,000 subscribers. But here on Warriors Today, a big reason we've been able to subscribe, we hit you with the latest Warriors news, rumors, breaking news, and we're trying to get to 22,000 subscribers ASAP. We're a little more than 200 away. So if you like Warriors basketball and you want to stay in the know with everything going on with this team, hit that red subscribe button down below. Let's pivot now to the veteran bench pieces on this team right now. These are all guaranteed contracts. Kevon Looney re-signed with Golden State in free agency. Andre Iguodala back in the Bay where he had so much success as the former NBA Finals MVP. Otto Porter Jr. looking to stay healthy because he's had a couple of injury-plagued seasons over the last few years. Juan Toscano-Anderson, a wonderful story as a guy who's really cut out a role for himself on an NBA roster, and I expect him to be a key contributor off the bench. And then Nemanja Bjelica. All of these guys last year, as you see, got at least 16 minutes per game. That's why I think that they're going to play a role this upcoming season, and all of them bring a little something to the table. Nemanja Bjelica, kind of a sneaky signing as a stretch big man who can play the 4 and the 5, knock down some threes, and then we kind of know what JTA, Otto Porter, Andre Iguodala, and Kevon Looney can do. Now, I do want to ask you this question because we here at Chat Sports, we call him 30K Oubre because anytime we put out a video on Kelly Oubre, it would get like 30,000 views. But the day that he signed with the Charlotte Hornets was the same day that we brought back a legendary figure to the Bay in Andre Iguodala. So who would you rather have on this roster going into the 2021-2022 campaign? Type AI for Andre Iguodala, type KO for Kelly Oubre. Have some fun with this one and sound off in the comment section down below. Now, it is the NFL season, NBA season right around the corner with NBA training camp and the preseason here right now. So it's a great time of the year to lay some money down, be bold, and make some bets across the NFL as well as the NBA, and we can get you hooked up thanks to our sportsbook partner, BetUS. If you go to chatsports.com/bet, enter the promo code CHAT125, you get a 125% deposit bonus. So when you put $100 into your account, you get an additional $125 back. That deal, that promo code applies for anybody all across the globe because BetUS is just killing the game. Let's take a look at some NFC West odds. Maybe because you're a Warriors fan, you're also a 49ers fan. I am also the host of the 49ers Report here at Chat Sports. You take a look at the NFC West odds right now. Cardinals leading the way at plus 175, tied with the Rams. Seahawks at plus 350. 49ers at plus 450. They've plummeted because they've lost 2 games in a row. Get those bets in. Chatsports.com/bet. Enter that promo code CHAT125. Warriors are a very experienced team with the likes of Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Kevon Looney, but there are also some young guns on this team too. Jordan Poole really emerged last year as a go-to scorer off the bench. I think he's going to be the top go-to scorer coming off the bench, going into a really big third year where I think he can really continue to prove himself as that go-to guy. You have a couple of rookies and Jonathan Kuminga, who you selected at number 7 overall, Moses Moody, the last pick in the lottery at number 14, Kuminga out of the G League Ignite, Moses Moody out of Arkansas, Woo Pig, James Wiseman going into his second year after he had an up-and-down rookie campaign. And I think the arrow was pointing up for both Kuminga as well as Moody, as evidenced by what they were able to do in the NBA Summer League. They did some positive things. They put up some really solid numbers in Vegas. And we're about to take a look at some of these numbers. I thought the sample size proved that Kuminga and Moody can both play. I mean, Kuminga was playing 27 minutes per game, Moses Moody 25, and then down the line, Kuminga 17 points per game, 4.5 rebounds. The field goal percentage left a lot to be desired, but I think he's a young Jaylen Brown, a guy who can really defend at an elite level right from the jump, and he could get some playing time right away. And then Moses Moody can put the ball on the floor a little bit and can also make it rain from deep. These guys going to be able to bring a lot to the table. Who do you think of those two rooks is going to have the better first year? JK for Jonathan Kuminga, MM for Moses Moody. Kuminga has the unfortunate nickname of the Cum Bucket. You can comment that in the comment section if you do so. Please to do that as well. Fighting for roster spots. Yeah, we're entertaining and we're informative, and we like to have some laughs here on Warriors today. Fighting for roster spots. Avery Bradley. The other week he said, I think I'm the best on-ball defender in the league. Because of that, I think he could take up one of the final 2 vacant roster spots. Jordan Poole, not really fighting for a roster spot. I think he's going to be in a great spot, but you never know what's going to happen. Gary Payton II as a guard. Damian Lee out of Drexel going to be fighting for a position on this team as well. And then you're looking at other guys at the back end of this roster who signed late deals or are on the roster bubble, probably on the outside looking in. Langston Galloway throughout his tenure in the league has proven he can score the ball a little bit. Chris Chiozza has done some decent things as a point guard, and the Warriors are somewhat thin there. And then Michael Mulder at this point is what Michael Mulder is. That's why these guys are fighting for roster spots. And Jordan Poole, as I mentioned, not really a guy who's going to be fighting for a roster spot. He's going to be a go-to scorer coming off the bench. So with that, I ask you this. Who gets the final 2 roster spots? 13 guaranteed contracts right now. I'd be shocked if any of those guys don't make the roster. I think Avery Bradley is going to make the team because he has so much modern-day value as an elite defender, but drop me some names down below. I'll circle back and see what you all come up with.